Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning. The clock on the back of the wall says, I don't know what it says. First I looked at it, I thought it almost says 5 to 12. But I think it's hasn't been changed yet. But the one on my arm that I live by says 10 a.m. So let's get started, shall we? First, as we always do, I would like to invite Chaplain Brenda up to have a word of prayer.
Well, in light of election, excuse me, I'm having trouble with my throat this morning. I didn't think it would do this. My mind has gravitated toward Paul's first letter to Timothy, chapter 2, verses 1 and 2. Excuse me. I urge you, first of all, to pray for all people. Ask God to help them, intercede on their behalf, and give thanks for them. Pray this way for kings and all those who are in authority, so that we can live peaceful and quiet lives, marked by godliness and dignity. Let us pray. Lord, you are all goodness and all wisdom. And we need your wisdom today and every day. And Lord, help us to live peaceful lives and to intercede for one another. Lord, today we lift up our elected officials and all those running for office, and we ask that your will would be done and that peace would prevail. We also lift up our leaders here at Menno Haven. Give them your wisdom and your guidance each day as they seek your will for our communities. May questions and concerns be addressed, and may we learn and grow together. Give us a spirit of unity and a willingness to hear and support one another. Lord, overall, give us wisdom to perceive you, intelligence to understand you, diligence to seek you, patience to wait for you and your will, eyes to see you, a heart to meditate on you, and a life to proclaim you. We give thanks and we give praise to your name. Amen. Amen. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chaplain Brenda. All right. So, I want to get to a couple things here today. Just to be very transparent, we started our slide deck with 102 slides. I'm happy to report we're down to 70. So a lot to get through today. I will also report that I've had a Diet Mountain Dew, and this is my third cup of coffee. So if I start to go a little too quick, someone raise their hand and tell me to slow down. But we do have a lot to get through, okay? So I want to give you some updates. I want to talk about 2247 Scotland Road. So this is the red brick house that is in the block between the entrance to the Menno Haven Rehab and the main entrance of our Brookview community. You will recall in past town hall meetings, we spoke about the Scotland Road projects and the houses that are being built, the villas out along the main road, and that we started with 5. We've kept the number to 5, but we had to move some lots and things around so things could fit. And the last thing that I reported was that one of the villas was going to be built on the open lot at the main entrance on the left-hand side. Well, guess what? Best laid plans don't always work. So we did run into some subdivision issues and how that lot had been pulled into the overall parcel plan of the Menno Haven campus altogether. So it did give us a little bit of a hiccup on how to subdivide to put a single family home there. And what we were finding was that the township was going to require that the driveway empty out onto the Menno Haven Drive, the main drag going in. to the main entrance. It's not called Menno Haven Drive. Village, Village, Village Parkway. Well, terrace is, it doesn't matter. Main entrance coming in, which that entrance can already get a little hectic, so having an additional driveway pop out to it just did not seem feasible. So in the meantime, this property, 2247, the owner of this home is now a wonderful resident here at Menno Haven. And has offered their home for purchase to Menno Haven. So we are we are going to take that villa from the corner and shift it over one to be in this lot here. So just want to be transparent and have that information out to you. I'm going to talk about one more property. This property is 414 Benjamin Drive. So stay with me. This is in Franklin Commons, which is a small little development of 25 units across the street from the Menno Haven Rehab. And so there are duplexes, triplexes. I'm not sure how many are in a row there, but there's 25 units altogether. And we are just going to see how this goes over. We have purchased this home. We are going to refurbish it. It will be a part of the Menno Haven continuum, but we are just a part of the homeowners association here, just like anybody else. So we're trying to see if we can capture the niche of potential prospects out here in our community that want the amenities and the security of Menno Haven, but maybe are not bought into saying they live in or on a community like ours. So we're going to see how this goes and then potentially see if this works. As other units come available, we'll see. But again, just want to be transparent about what that looks like in the future. Okay? All right. So November Town Hall is all about numbers, right? Some we're going to talk about, some we're not. Hence my little political thing down there. And I did joke yesterday that I, in my heart of hearts, believe we will have the highest amount of viewers watching Town Hall via the in-house channel to get a reprieve from the political ads on their regularly tuned-in station. Right? So I feel a little pressure how many people we have watching. But I thought it would be important to just give you some numbers that you might have been curious about or might have never thought of. So just kind of roll some of these around. So I want to start with community nursing. So far this year, the community nurses have given 137 flu vaccines, and with the help of our partners at the Walmart pharmacy from Shippensburg, they administered 300 COVID, RSV, or Pneumovax vaccinations. That's a lot, 300. Clinics. We have a hearing clinic that occurs, and we average about 25 residents per visit. The podiatry clinic used to be monthly, but has increased to twice a month. And twice a month, we average about 25 residents per visit at those clinics as well that occur right here on our campuses. So what do Carol and Sam, what do they do all day? So they average about 40 wound care visits per month. They visit at least 4 sick residents per week. They average at least 4 residents that have had a fall and need some assistance. They also visit an average of 8 residents per week that have maybe had a little trip to the hospital or have maybe needed some time in the Menno Haven rehabilitation area or have had a respite in one of our personal care areas, and they do a follow-up visit and check-in after that resident returns home. And they average about 15 phone calls per day. We keep them pretty busy. All right. So let's talk about team services. Not sure if you're able to see this clearly, but we do want to baffle you with a little numbers here. So far this year, we've received over 1,700 applications. We've hired 217 team members. Currently today, your employees here at Menno Haven, there's 664. Okay, people that work here. We've rehired 20 team members. Those are team members that have gone away but have come back. We have sponsored 25 CNAs That is folks that do not have their certification that go through our CNA program, and we foot that bill for that training. We have 17 team members that identify as mentors. Again, if I'm a mentor, that is I'm coming along, new team members, and the goal is to help them stay here, right? And to connect with someone here at Menno Haven. We have graduated 115 CPR attendees. We did need to terminate 196 team members. We have one person here at Menno Haven that has worked here for over 45 years. 8 who have worked over 40, 3 that have worked over 35, 8 that have worked over 30, 13 over 25 years, and 8 over 20. I'm excited to be in that category next year. It's hard to believe. We've had some folks retire. Jeff Angle from security, he should look familiar to you, has retired. Suzanne Brown, Judy Bishop, Carol Keener, Helen Keckler. She's still around though. She's still around. Maria Patterson, this is a little, it says 1 year, but Maria has been here at Menno Haven on and off for a while. Doris Pinsky from Menno Haven at Home, Steve Vanza, and Shani Wolf have retired. I do want to take this opportunity awkwardly right now to ask Cameron, who I think, yes, hi Cameron, can you come in please? Cameron's in the back helping with the recording and the broadcast. But I missed getting Cameron, come on up Cameron. I missed getting Cameron in a slide a little bit further back in, but I wanted to take the opportunity to really embarrass him and make him say hi and wave. So you can start to put a face with a name. Cameron is going to be leading our tech ops or IT department now that Steve has retired. So Cameron, you've been here
5 weeks.
5 weeks already. He knows. 5 weeks. And I have already started to see the impact of your participation in this department. So thank you for that. So stay tuned for more information about Mr. Cameron, but we want to, if you're questioning who is this stranger walking around acting like he knows things, he does. And we're looking forward to getting to know you better, Cameron. Thank you. Sorry to embarrass you. That's not true. I'm not sorry. Last town hall, we gave you an update about some changes that were happening in our team services department. So I want to put some pictures up here as well. Kelly Iyer, that face should look familiar to you. She has been a Menno Haven team member for some time, started as a culinary assistant at Village Square, has held numerous roles in the past. She was our education, I'm going to butcher what her title was, and education engagement. There you go. It's right up there. Education coordinator, and she has raised her hand to want to share her strengths and is now our talent acquisition specialist, AKA fancy word for recruiter. Okay? So to fulfill Kelly's open position, we hired Alika Benjamin Elliott, and she is in that role now as the coordinator, helping to manage all of the required trainings, helping to manage the Inspire program, new employee orientation, the mentor program, and of course, team member events. So if you see her out and about, please make her feel welcome as well. We do still currently have a position open as in our team services or HR department for someone that has the specialty of employee relations. You recall that Karen White-Jones is a part of that team services team, and her focus is really benefits, workers' compensation, FMLA, medical leave and things of that nature. We really feel like we still have this open hole in that department that somebody can come along and really focus on employee relations. Okay? All right, here's some other numbers. Over a year, Menno Haven makes over 1,000 gallons of pizza sauce and marinara. And I looked at this really briefly when they sent me this slide, and I was like, wow, 770 pounds of turkey breast. That's a lot. And then I looked again, and it's 7,700 pounds of turkey breast. We eat a lot of turkey around here. We even eat a lot more bacon. 12,000 pounds of bacon is served. We've served over 365,000 meals in our skilled and healthcare centers and personal care and the rehab dining rooms and in our retail venues, right, our bistros, our grills, Chestnut Landing. We've had over 223,000 transactions. That's a lot. That's a lot. Some other fun facts: the treasure chest is projected to bring in about 130 grand this year. That is amazing. We average 2,000 a month volunteer hours. That is just staggering to me. We've had over 300 water classes and 1,347 land classes, AKA group exercise classes. We've transported in 2023, 4,571 residents in our buses. And so far this year, we are at 3,090. All right? This is why we need new tires. I also wanted just to put into perspective, and because these are just things that people ask me, and I have no clue. So my curiosity gets the best of me. So we're going to break down the responsibility of our grounds department. So here at Chambers Point, here is our grounds crew: Dwayne, Troy, Garrett, and Jason. You can see Dwayne's responsibility is 29 cottages and the memory homes. Troy has the Manor, the Renaissance, the Healthcare Center, and the lake area. Garrett has 46 cottages, and Jason has 37 cottages. If we head over to the Brookview, Carl has 24 villas, Dan has 27, Ray 28, Bob, who is part-time, manages the North Gate and the common areas. Myron has 44, Charles 48, Todd 47, Joseph 43, Austin 9, plus the Life Center and the Healthcare Center, so all the grounds, common spaces around that. And then Jeremy has all the operations center, or the old business office, the Village Square building, the rehab, and the pond and park area. So he really appreciates those who use the dog park cleaning up after themselves. So Menno Haven Grounds Department is responsible for over 200 acres. They also manage any power washing needs, as well as coordinating any pest control and the beloved window washing. So our maintenance team. There's really 3 individual teams under the maintenance umbrella: the refurbishment team, the life safety team, and the skilled trades team. So we have a master plumber, a master electrician, an appliance technician, an HVAC technician, 2 carpenters, 6 painters, 1 TV specialist, 5 preventative maintenance techs, and they are usually assigned to a specific building, a life safety tech, a locksmith, and I call this the wall hole maker, right? That's Angie, everybody's beloved Angie. She's the one that hangs the pictures, and a general maintenance tech. Year to date, we have completed 23,691 work orders, and we are currently sitting at 225 that are open and still need to be completed. And then more and more get added every day, right? So that is a staggering number. These next few slides, I want to talk through the Independent Living Survey. And that is a survey that might have come across your mailbox or in your email. And you know how I am. I want to be very transparent. So I want to just kind of go through some of the comments that we have received. And you know I like to get the yucky stuff out of the way first. So we're going to start with what I call the not so awesome. And these might not be bad things, but these are just things that maybe, are desires or wants or things that I can't fix immediately, right? So to me, that feels not so awesome. So some of the comments are: we need a dining venue at Chambers Point, but would prefer no dining dollars to go with it. So many this is something that I had not got wind of. So many non-Menno Haven people eating, hard to get a reservation at Chestnut Landing. That's the first I had heard that. The Life Center Grill is disappointing and training and supervision is needed. We would like to have a lifeguard so we don't have to have a buddy system at the pools. Chambers Point needs a dedicated exercise classroom. The water pressure around here stinks, and it takes too long to get hot water to the kitchen. Maintenance doesn't call ahead before showing up for repairs. I feel like I need to do my own trimming of the shrubs. Weeds, trimming, and mulch seem to be neglected in some areas. Grass on sidewalks after mowing. Grounds team, this is kind of a mixed bag. Grounds team are friendly and helpful, pleasant, positive, and perhaps a bit short-handed. So that is, we have this impression that we don't have enough of help. Communication tools like the portal TV channel need updating more frequently. New employees are not as diligent as those that they replace. I'm going to try not to take that one personally. And then to lay my feelings out, this last one stung. Monthly service fees are escalating too fast, especially with the decline in quality service. That one I lost sleep over. I don't know the context to that. These are not unanimous, anonymous. So I don't know what that was around, but I take it personally. And it is fretting for me if folks feel like the quality of our services, and a lot of things come to my mind that encompass what I would call service, and our services here. So I want to know that we take these seriously. And yes, some things I cannot fix immediately, but we talk about them and we grapple with them. And this one I'm grappling with. So if you have things that you've heard or read these, we have glass doors in our office for a reason, right? We want you to be able to see us. I want you to be able to see me. But more importantly, I want you to feel comfortable to call, show up, track me down. Anna Mae keeps track of me. She's got a tracker on me. Get some time because I don't want to see those. And I want to work through that. And I know we're not perfect. And that's an expectation we'll never meet in everyone's eyes. But if this is the feeling that our quality for our services is declining, that we have to fix. Okay? So I want to be sure that we're keeping that open door policy and we're saying and walking and talking like we say we do. So one of the things that I think that's going to address some of these is that this is Ty Beagle. She's probably not very happy with me because she is off work this week, and I reached out to her. We didn't get her headshot yet. And I'm like, I need a picture. And she's like, and I'm like, just take a selfie and send it to me. And I'm like, just, take a sweatshirt, I don't know what you're doing, but put something decent on and, just send me a picture. So she's probably going to not be happy with me that I'm broadcasting this out. But Ty Beagle is coming. I believe she starts next week as our Assistant Director of Culinary. Her focus will be hospitality and supervision of the Life Center Grill, coming alongside and helping Brian with catering and being support for Northgate. Ty was a part of the Cura team and had worked here at Menno Haven. If you all have met Paris, she was the director of culinary upstairs at the Manor Kitchen for some time. She actually got her start here at Northgate years and years ago. She was moved to another local establishment like ours through Cura as an employee, but they no longer service that area, so we are saying she's coming home. So I'm really excited to see the impact that Ty is going to have on, right, that one comment that the Life Center Grill needs some help. All right, so I look forward to her impact as well. All right, let's get to some positives. Now, I had pages of positives, but again, 100 slides, so I'm not going to keep us up here. So the good, this was about the About Time Bistro, Cypress Cafe, Chestnut Landing are wonderful. Staff at Cypress are fully trained and make the experience enjoyable. Love the staff, love the chefs and the servers. Food is delicious and varied. The culinary team are always courteous and anxious to please. Routine maintenance repairs are top-notch, and the team is highly responsive. We love the window washings and the snow removal. The wellness team is engaged, helpful, and friendly. And there was lots and lots more. But overall, when we calculate the numbers, 95% of the survey responders report that they are extremely satisfied or very satisfied with Menno Haven. Right? That does help me sleep at night. Those other things get in my craw and try to steal my sleep. But overall, what I'm hearing is that the majority of our residents are satisfied. So thank you for that. So we're now going to talk about some things that are a little difficult. So here, most of you should have received your letter in your mailbox about some of the personnel changes that both of our leisure coordinators, Lynette Clark and Corey Rotz, are no longer with Menno Haven. And I just want to kind of come along because I always pull the surveys whenever, we talk about them all the time and look at them, but I just wanted to kind of put these out there. These are some of the responses we received about the leisure activities and programs. There's a nice variety of trips, but communication could be better. Coordinators are patient and kind to those who need assistance. Just simply, we need more. The trip program has deteriorated in quality within the past 2 years. Too many trips cost large amounts of money and too many trips for dinner only. We need more interesting trips, including historical sites and nature drives. Scheduling through the portal is frustrating. I agree. So I think there is a moment in time when we need to evaluate exactly what maybe the expectations of a department is, could be, and should be. And so with these changes, I think it's an opportunity for us to listen to you all as residents and try to really focus on finding the right people that can take this program to where it needs to be. I'm also very sensitive that if we think about the total amount of independent living residents that are here at Menno Haven, the percent that actually utilize the leisure coordinator programs is actually a small number, right? It's a small number. So we have to really think about how do we please that small number and not lose sight of those that do not participate? And what is the reason why they don't participate? And I think that there, in our line of work, and I have concluded that in this line of work, we are always looking for unicorns. You've heard me say it. I preach to it to Roger all the time when we talk about directors of nursing in our healthcare areas. That is a required position by regulation. We have to have these DONs, directors of nursing. And our experience has been that directors of nursing have to be unicorns, right? Because they not only have to be extremely savvy in regulatory and clinical application, right? You're the director of nursing. Need to have that in your back pocket. The responsibilities of that role, they also have to be a people person and a manager and a supervisor. And a lot of times clinical and regulatory strengths don't always have good people strengths, or really good people strengths, and maybe some of these clinical things fall down. I think we ask the same of our leisure coordinators. They have to be fun, approachable. You're going to want to hang out with them, right? They have to be creative and come up and establish programs and things that we want to do. But they also have to be organized, not overdo it and have too many things back to back that we're burning out. They have to be able to communicate and work well with each other. And so we all are mourning the change in this department. But I'm confident between Billy, Denise, and myself, we are going to keep the show on the road the best that we can. But I don't want the pressure of rushing in and just plopping people in those roles, because over these past few years, it has become extremely evident to me how vital these roles are and how important it is to get the right people in them. Okay? So I am asking for a little grace. We are just trying to keep our head above water this week. And I just really want to call out Billy especially, and Denise for stepping up And I've had lots of folks come to me and say, hey, I know about this. Hey, if you need a bus driver for this. Hey, don't forget about this. I'm going to be honest, I can't even talk about December, right? I just need to get through these first 2 weeks, and then as we work through everything. But I believe you have a handout. Is that true? Am I telling the truth? About the trips and events that the three of us, just cannot make work. Either due to just other scheduling conflicts, or we're not able to move some things around. That these are things, if you had reserved or have on your calendar to do, we do need you that we will not be providing transportation or we will not be participating in. Okay? And so the Haven Connect for November, I know, is already out. I want to publicly apologize. I was here on Sunday, and we had the Cornerstone Choir here. It was embarrassing to me that there was 36 people in the choir, and there was 10 of us in the audience. And it was very likely because it did not get in the Connect. So we have some fundamental, foundational things that we have got to work on to make this department work and run a little more smoothly. So I will, of course, be open to questions and conversations after the fact, but just want to give you my heart a little bit of where I stand with that. Moving on, I want to talk to you about another number, the Menno Haven Employee Appreciation Fund. This was for 2023. We distributed $194,829, which was an average check to our eligible team members of $318. That, I got a little tear in my eye when I found that out. I had no idea what those checks were, and to have team members just be flooded with a sense of warmth and gratitude. They come here, they love what they do, but for the residents to step up and show their appreciation, it is phenomenal. So thank you for that. So I just want to remind you, the contribution time is almost up, but you have to the 22nd to, if you want to, if it's snuck up on you here, to put a couple dollars into that. I'm going to steal Ryan's thunder. I literally stole this slide from his area, and want to talk a little bit about the resident rate increases. We get a lot of questions as to why is this percent? Why is it different for different areas? What does that look like? Ryan is going to explain a little bit about, he has some graphs and lots of numbers that sometimes I don't even understand. But where the cost indexes are. But to me, just as the simplest explanation for these rate increases at this point in time is so that we remain competitive with our competitors. And I'm not saying that the local nursing home on the corner is our competitor. I am saying that we are ranked up against the larger providers in the Lancaster area, Hanover area, communities like ours, life plan communities, that we are the best buy in town. We are a quality provider for a great rate. That's easy for me to say, but I know that is coming out of your checkbook. And so for us to remain competitive, if you have a neighbor that is not someone locally from this community, that they have moved into this area and shopped around into the Frederick market, again, the Lancaster market, that is like the hub of senior living here in Pennsylvania, that we do have the best bang for the buck. But we have to remain competitive there. And Ryan is going to talk about our expenses. And there are some astronomical expenses there. And so I want you to hear from me that I would love to stand up in front of you and put my campaign hat on today and sling a lot of promises like we hear and have been hearing. Right? I would love to say to you, if you vote for me, I promise to never do a rate increase again. Well, that's lies. I can't promise that. But what I can promise is to be transparent, and I can promise that our I don't want to use the word passion, but our urgency to control expense is feverish. And it is touching every single department. My friend Brian in the back of the room would like to put a bullet in a 2005 rusty van, right? It's on its last leg. And we were in a meeting yesterday about getting a new lease on a new van. And my first thing out of my mouth was, you got that in the budget? Can we afford that? Right? We have to follow our budget, because when we blow the budget, it comes out of your checkbook. So I want you to hear that the senior team and myself are just adamant about getting these expenses under control. And I am confident that our directors and our team members are not out there just blowing money, right? I know that's not the case. But it is looking at things, are they absolutely necessary? And making sure that we don't get comfortable with, well, this has been our vendor or this has been our provider for the past 15 years and we're loyal, right? We have to go back to those folks and have them sharpen their pencil, right? And that, again, has been that forward-focusing lens of making sure, and Ryan will show you a graph of how we can control those expenses. I can't control the amount of per pound cost it is per turkey, right? I can't control that our health insurance for our team members has gone up 14%. Is that right? And, there's those costs that I can't control, but it does really have to make us look at the other costs. We want you to be proud of where you live. We want you to tell your neighbors so they come and live here. We want to remain the best value for the buck, and that only can occur if we buckle in. Okay? All right. Ryan?
Thanks, Tiffany. Okay. Good morning, everyone. It's great to see everybody here this morning show up here in the morning. The numbers that I'm presenting here today are going to be year-to-date numbers. They're going to be through September 30th. We don't quite have our October financials done. We won't have those done until next week. But wanted to start out with the two bond covenants that we're required to hit to keep our creditors happy here. And as we can see, our debt service coverage ratio is at 1.39. Our required is at 1.2, so above what our required is. Days cash on hand, we are sitting at 342 days. What is required is 150 days. There, so we're doing well and making sure that we can hit our bond covenants. If we look at our operating performance year to date, one of the things that we can see, if we look at revenue, we're up about 1.3 million, which is great. A lot of that's coming from our nursing care side of the business, as we really focus on census and really getting the revenue in the door and getting patients here or residents with it. But if we look at our expense side, we are up 2.3 million. And of that 2.3 million, if you break it down, 1.9 million is related to employee costs, whether it's salaries and wages or healthcare costs. Healthcare costs this year, compared to what we had budgeted, we are self-funded, and we're in a captive to help control some of our costs. But this year, we're about $500,000 over what we had budgeted. And that typically, when you're self-funded, you'll have those years where you do really well. This is one of those bad years as we go forwards. But we know, in speaking with the company, that next year our healthcare costs, we're anticipating to go up 12% with that. So we are looking at things of how we could, Are we competitive? Is there a better product out there than what we're currently using with that? The other 400,000 really is the other areas, whether it's therapy because we've got increased census and nursing with higher census. We've got higher food costs with some more meals that was served, as Tiffany had showed in some earlier slides. We do have some one-time expenses that we've hit this year with an implementation of a new general ledger system, which has given us financial reports by service area, a new HR system, which is now interfaced between the general ledger. So now we have systems that can communicate back and forth, whether it's our EMR, general ledger, HR, we're able to actually get the reports and really start to dig in. What is the revenue per resident day? What is the expense per resident day at these different areas as we go forward. But the good news is, under our non-operating for the first 9 months, the market has been really great to us. Hopefully it's been great to your investments also out there. You know, it's favorable to budget by $7 million. Of that, unrealized gains counts for $3.9 million of that as we go forwards. Overall, net assets decreased $864,000, which is favorable to budget by $5.9 million. This graph here, as we had seen, you know, the rate increases, and as we look at that and determine, you know, what we need to do with it, this one is one that the Finance Committee and the board gets every month. The board over twice a month, since we only meet every other month with it. But we can see this year through September, year to date, our expense per day is running $169,000. That's up 5.7% from where we were in 2023 when we were at $160,000 with that. But when we look at the graphs, sometimes as this graph here, I don't know if anybody goes out there or if I'm the only one who finds joy in it, but the Consumer Price Index, or CPI, you know, when you look at this thing, I think sometimes it lies to us. Because if we look at it, you know, we're at a little over 3% at the beginning of January there. I think it's 3.1. You know, we go to 3.5, and we can see it slowly coming down as the year progresses to ultimately in September at 2.4. But one of the things that I have noticed over my career with this is you don't really see that immediately. And if we go to this next graph, this one's going to give us a 3-year look back at the Consumer Price Index. And I know it's hard to see there, but if you looked at January of 2022, we were sitting at about 7.5% inflation. I think by June, we were a little over 9%, and then by the end of 2022, December of 2022, it was back down to about 6.5% with that. I'm just going to go back one slide. We didn't see those huge increases. Just got a pointer. We didn't see those huge increases in 22. We've seen those increases in 23. So just like this year, as it's coming down, we're still kind of going on that 23 data that's driving 24 with that. Now, I do believe the year-to-date number here of 5.7, it's 100% accurate, but I think by the end of the year, we're going to get that down to a closer 5% for the year. There's some one-time things that we've done. You know, September, we had to buy the flu vaccine for our team members. You know, there was $30,000. We put in some one-time costs when we put in that new software. There was some implementation that actually hit, but we won't have that going forwards for the remainder of the year. So I do expect that to come back down to about 5% year to date. With it, but just wanted to kind of give you an overview of what the economy is, and you know, again, looking at these graphs, you know, when I go to out to eat or go to the grocery store, I'm like, it sure feels like it's more than 2.2 or 2.4 that they just reported with that. But I do want to tell you, as the leadership it goes into this last quarter of 2024, we are focused on, you know, controlling expenses, any reductions. We're really questioning, you know, do we need this? You know, are we buying this from the right vendor? We've got a team that's looking, you know, at a purchasing system, not necessarily to spend money, but to get us to be purchasing the same products across the organization and getting it at the best cost with that. And it's going to be a major focus in 2025, that same thing, controlling FTEs and also hitting census that's out there. But what we do know going into 2025, there are a few things that's going to hit us hard. We know healthcare costs are up almost 12% in our benefit line. We know our general liabilities up 12, or actually that one's a little over 14% just in the general liability, which if you put that to dollars, it's about 85,000 that it goes up just because of the renewal with that. We know food costs are expected to increase about 4%, and then we're looking at all the other expenses anywhere from 2 to 3.5%, keeping labor no higher than 3% increase as we go forwards. So, thank you. I believe up next is Tori, or I'm sorry, Billy. Sorry, Billy.
I get it all the time. Even at the voter poll this morning.
Thanks, everyone.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I just have to share real quick on Tiffany's slide earlier when she was showing the years of service. I'm still in the 25-plus range, but next year at this time we'll hit the 30 years. So, so that's pretty cool to see that there's still some team members that have that longevity. I don't have a lot to share here this morning. I just want to share a reminder quickly of the ham loaf pickups is next Thursday. If you ordered a ham loaf, that pickup will be next Thursday from 1 to 3 at the lower level of the Life Center. However, Chambers Point, you are lucky and spoiled. Miss Martine Shelley will pick up your ham loaves for you and deliver them. So if you've ordered from here from Chambers Point, those will be delivered courtesy of Martine. So thank you, Martine, for doing that. When you say next Thursday, you mean this week or next? Next week, the 14th. Yes. And then I noticed also in your flyer, now if I can go the right way, yay. In your handout, if you have not already and would like to, is the gift card sale that the Menno Haven Auxiliary hosts every year as well. And you'll notice on the side to order, there's a small percentage next to each gift card. That is the small percentage if you purchase that gift card that the Menno Haven Auxiliary receives back from this gift card company. It's called, it used to be called Scripps, but now it's called Raise Right is what the gift cards are called. So again, these orders are due next Friday, the 15th. And you can turn those order forms into any of the concierge desk at Village Square, Northgate, the Life Center, or the Renaissance. And you can pay by cash or check made payable to the Menno Haven Auxiliary. And just as a reminder, many of these gift cards are available in our gift shops, the Point in the boutique and at the rehab throughout the year, that you do not have to necessarily wait to get your gift card through this annual gift card sale. And then just quickly, again, the Menno Haven Auxiliary is so gracious for your support over the year. The board will be meeting on Monday to talk about our project list that was submitted by team members and residents, and we'll take a vote on projects that we want to approve. And Tiffany had shared earlier about the treasure chest, how it's making us great money that we can give back to the Menno Haven team members and residents here. So we thank all of you, the volunteers that help us in many, many ways, working in the stores, taking in donations, just the magnitude of the way you help us throughout the year, supporting our fundraisers, coming to the chicken barbecue, the pancake, the gift cards, the ham loaf sales. We just can't express enough gratitude for your support. So thank you. And I think, oops, I went the wrong way. Roger. I didn't turn your.
Ah, fancy. Good morning, everyone. So I've got a few things to share. First, for those of you who aren't aware, but there has been a bit of a kerfuffle between United Healthcare and WellSpan Health. And I've been approached by some residents, who have United Healthcare plans. And I just wanted to alert you all to the fact that they have not been able to come to an agreement as yet. So if you have a United Healthcare plan, I would encourage you to not read this because it's way too small, but that is a statement on the WellSpan Health side. And if you just Google WellSpan United Healthcare, you'll get all kinds of things. But in essence, they are saying that United Healthcare is underpaying them and they need more revenue for their services. United Healthcare, on the other hand, says that WellSpan hospitals are the most expensive hospitals in the region and that they are asking for unreasonable increases. So there's a lot going on there that they're still in conversation. But if you have one of those plans, I would encourage you to look into it to make sure that you can still be seen at your local WellSpan providers. And again, we are in open enrollment until December 7th, I believe. So now would be the time to make that jump if you think you are needing to do so. Second, just keeping you updated on the latest and greatest from the CDC. They have certainly been advocating for more and more immunizations of late. And for those of you who've gotten your 2024 version of the COVID booster, good for you. 6 months from now, they want you to get another one. That's not really surprising. I think we're going to see that, as new formulations come out, that, there will be continued encouragement for folks to get the newest and latest and greatest. So if you've got that first 2024 version of the booster, count 6 months forward and then consider whether you want to do so. They're also recommending that the Pneumovax vaccine be administered to folks over 50 rather than 65. So if you haven't hit 65 yet, but you're over 50, the recommendation is to go ahead and get that pneumococcal vaccination. Just a little bit about Chambers Point Healthcare Center, some news there. This is a unicorn. So welcome, Michelle Mowry. She's been with us as the Director of Nursing at Chambers Point for the last couple months, I believe now. As those of you who follow the healthcare center know that, we've struggled with directors of nursing and to find those unicorns, as Tiffany puts it. And when we found Michelle, the thing that's different about her is that she's coming into this role with 8 years of director of nursing experience already under her belt. And that is not something that we've had with several of the previous team members. We've really focused on that personal, that relationship side, and we may have underestimated the complexity of the rules and regulations and the ability to follow that and the stress that it puts on a director of nursing. But Michelle is calm, cool, collected. She is highly organized. She knows the regulations inside and out. And so I have confidence, that she does not get stressed under pressure. So that's going to be really good for us. And she's also been very friendly and welcoming and good with the team. So, and maybe it was, providence, but she, when she came for a second interview to meet with some of the nursing team, she was actually wearing a T-shirt with a unicorn on it. So, I think that was my sign. So, so if you see her up there, be sure to say hello. Also, this is exciting news as well. This has been a long time coming. I haven't hit that 20 or 30 year mark. I'll hit 10 in April, God willing, and Tiffany. But with all of the new things that we've done, on the Brookview community, the renovations in the healthcare center, the Chambers Point Healthcare Center really hadn't been touched a lot, in the resident living areas, the resident rooms in the last 10 years. We've tried to do some renovations, one room at a time, and we've gotten some headway, but we're really putting forth a concerted effort now. And so we're also gonna try to make those rooms more appealing to people. When you go to the rehab center or to the Brookview Healthcare Center, or, for our personal cares for that matter, all of the rooms are private. But here in the Chambers Point Healthcare Center, we only have 8 private rooms that are licensed. So we've made the decision that in order to enhance that quality of life for the folks here, that we are going to take 10 of those semi-private rooms, and we are going to convert them to private rooms. We're going to upgrade, the bathrooms with new cabinetry and things. We're going to, replace flooring. We're going to, bring in some new furniture. I think the armoires and nightstands and the things that that are in most of the rooms have been here since the building opened, and it's just time. So it's exciting times. We're hoping to get this done, but as of January 1st, our licensed capacity is going to go down to 50, and we hope to have those 10 private rooms online shortly thereafter. So stay tuned for that. And then lastly, just an awareness, that November is National Alzheimer's Disease Awareness Month. And part of our Bloom initiatives, the outreach initiative that we have an overarching goal over the next several years to really develop our expertise and to become a center of excellence for Alzheimer's disease and other dementias. And so just a couple of the things that we're doing right now to try to move that needle a little bit. You may have seen this in the Connect, but on Thursday in the event center at the Life Center, we are hosting a Dementia Live experience. That is a simulated program, where people can come in and try to understand what it feels like to live with some of the sensory challenges that people with Alzheimer's disease live with. So if you've got your phone handy and you want to attend, you can scan that QR code right now, or you can go back to the Connect, and there is a $10 fee to attend, but I think it'd be well worth it. But there's still time to pre-register for that. This is put on by Penn Cares. They're a regional educational provider that is working on a grant that they received, and so they're coming to us. So I would encourage you, we have multiple team members who are signed up for that, but it's open to the general public and residents as well. So if you're interested in that, sign up and come see us on Thursday. Our task force is also very focused on a program called Dementia Friends Pennsylvania. And this is really an effort to create awareness among the general public about dementia. And so the Dementia Friends Pennsylvania works with several regional locations where they put on programming to teach law enforcement, EMTs, cashiers at grocery stores, things of that nature, what they might expect if they encounter someone in the community who has some cognitive challenges. But one of the things that we do here at Menno Haven is that for all of our new team members that come in, we provide a 1-hour orientation to Dementia Friends. And we're looking to expand that to residents as well and other team members. So, you wondered, one of those things that Sam Pence does in her spare time is that she is going to be hosting these Dementia Friends offerings throughout the month of November and beyond. These are the current offerings here. Again, I don't expect you to be able to read all of those, but they're coming up through the first couple weeks. But if you are interested in attending one of those 1-hour educational sessions with Sam, just reach out to her at her email or via telephone. And then the last thing, I'm not even going to tell you really what this is. I just want you to know that this is cool. And this is, I think, going to be a game changer for us. So read your Haven Connect when it comes out. You know, we did add an article on mild cognitive impairment. You know, we're throwing this logo out here as well. But there's a program coming that I really believe could be a game changer for us here at Menno Haven. So stay tuned to the Connect. There will be a video coming out with Tiffany and Samantha again that's going to tease a little bit more of what's to come. But I've spoken long enough. It's 11 o'clock. So Denise, you're it. All right.
Gosh, I need to buzz through my slides quickly, don't I? Everybody's going to be saying it's lunchtime. Ooh. So first, I want to give an update. Let's see which way we go with the slides. Wrong. Correct. On where we stood as of the 31st of October. Because as you know, independent living has a lot of moving parts to it. And unless the unit is released to us in marketing, we don't recognize it. We know things are coming, but we don't recognize them. You guys know a lot more than we do about what's happening. But for right now, I can confidently say that every cottage at Chambers Point has been contracted for. Every villa that is available to the marketing office has been contracted for. And every Northgate apartment that has been released to the marketing department has been contracted for. So we're pretty full. We do have some Brookview cottages that we have available. 2 of them have one-car garages. So we're working through our Now Club right now in making some offers there. And one of our cottages has off-street parking. Now, this is exclusive of the cottages in the 200s, but everything else, as far as we know, that has been released to us is in good shape. So that's good news. Oh, Renaissance. Go back. And the Renaissance. We have 4 apartments right now that are fully refurbed and ready for occupancy. We've had a lot of activity in the Renaissance apartment building this year with additions and subtractions there, but 4 of them are ready right now for someone to make a move in. And we have 5 that we have under construction. So we are in a constant state of refurbishment of those units. And so more to come on that. We hope, right after the first of the year, we're hoping to have an open house. But, you know, the last time we were going to have an open house, everything we wanted to show you was occupied, was taken, reserved. So that's good news for us in the Renaissance building. So Tiffany said today was all about numbers, so I thought it might be helpful for the audience to know what we have had going on in the marketing department. Year to date, we have signed 40 independent living agreements. We have 32 external personal care admissions. And our admissions department has been very busy putting 501 into our rehab center, 118 admissions to the Brookview Healthcare Center, and 67 to the Chambers Point Healthcare Center. So that has been a very, very active and busy team, keeping our census high. As far as move-ins, so far in independent living, we've moved 41 in, and we have 4 more scheduled, not 45, 4 more by the end of 2024. And we have 7 of our units that are contracted with a move-in in January, early February. How busy are we? How active are we? In addition to the active prospects that we have in our database, 377 first-time inquiries for independent living have occurred with our senior living advisors, and 172 first-time inquiries for personal care or memory home. Lots of times we hear questions about, talk to me about entrance fees. What happens with entrance fees? Well, what we like to say is that the smaller the square footage, the smaller the entrance fee. The higher the square footage, the higher the entrance fee, right? But what goes into making those entrance fees be different? So, what makes it different? Well, it's just like any real estate transaction, location, location, location. So some of our units have a little more privacy. Some of our units are closer to amenities than others. Some of them have the beauty of additional green space, and some of them are freestanding. Those are some of the things that will increase that entrance fee on the base unit. Amenities and upgraded personalization of some units, like additional cabinetry, upgraded flooring, perhaps the addition of a a screen porch, a three-season room, a deck, or a patio. Those are valuable, and so we sometimes have a little bit of a premium for that. And then some of our, we have very limited availability. So if you look over here at Chambers Point, our begonia floor plan, we only have 8. So that is a limited availability, a highly sought after because it's a great floor plan. And on other situations, like our dahlias, we have 16 over at Brookview, but we got a ton of them over here. So again, that would be things that would be a differentiator in that what that entrance fee would look like. So as well as when you have lower inventory, sometimes the cost goes higher, right? And then things like upgrades. So if you have a small room addition versus a large room addition, that's going to look different price point wise. If you have hardwood floors or perhaps a fireplace or some built-in cabinetry, maybe some upgraded lighting, maybe extensions of countertops so that I can have either bar height or counter height stools that go up to it. Those are things that are going to add the value to that entrance fee. So that's kind of where they sit, how things go with that. The other thing, sometimes I've heard that there's been conversations around the table where we say, hey, I don't think my entrance fee or my monthly service fee is the same as yours. So what has happened and what makes that happen? So prior to 2017, so pre-26 contracts were a different contract than what we're signing today. Those contracts were set at 100 months to amortize over 100 months. And they all had a component that was attached to your age at entry that included an interest-free loan or a refundable portion that would either go back to a healthcare reserve fund or follow the last person out. So what we did with those contracts in 2017 was we grandfathered their monthly service fee at the rate increase that we were having on an annual basis for monthly service fees. Anyone who came in 2017 and beyond are on a 49-month amortization schedule. And they have the option of deciding whether they want to go in traditional, which is dollar for dollar, or pay a little more for 50% refund, or pay 90% or have a 90% refundable by paying a little bit more. So our senior living advisors talk with people about what their goals are for their estate. And so those are what happens there. And that's our going monthly service fee for that. Other reasons that there might be some differences, we do offer a graduated discount for anyone who has retired from Menno Haven that has at least 10 years of service in at the time of retirement, so 10, 15, and 20 plus years. So there's some discounting in for that.
I'm in next year.
You're in. If you're in 10 years, you're in. 10, 15, and 20, so the longevity for 20, Tiffany, might be a win for you. But so that is something that we offer to our team members because, again, we want our team members to feel committed to Menno Haven. We want them to work with us for a long time, especially in roles that they appreciate. And then the other side of it, when the Northgate building was launched, they had service packages that they were coming into. So they had things like housekeeping and other kinds of services that were attached to that as well. So those are some of the things that are going to make differences between what my monthly service fee in a cottage may look like compared to someone else who may have been here for a long time. I may have retired from Menno Haven and things like that. And the last thing I want to talk about is the Manor First Floor project. We're moving forward Last meeting, we talked about that the ceilings were being installed. To date, we have selected the main flooring for both the dining room and the hallway. We've selected the vinyl baseboard trim color. We are working through the paint color. We want to make sure that it's something that's bright and cheerful, but will withstand the amount of traffic that goes up and down those hallways. The railing, we have that selected, and we are refurbishing the bathrooms in the dining room and in the hallway. So we do have the countertops, the flooring. We're working on the cabinetry right now. We have the lighting selected, so that we're not going to slow down our team. And we believe that this project will get in earnest right after the first of the year. So right now, we're just refining paint colors and making sure that we get cabinetry and everything ordered, and we'll be on our way. Chuck?
Good morning. They always tell me on the way up, do it fast. They keep me to last, and I keep telling myself they want the best last. So, anyway, but I am going to go quick. All I have is good news. So, okay, we do make a difference in the lives of our residents, and it take me all day to tell you all the things that are happening from development. And it's because of you. Our goal for benevolence, benevolence is so important here. It's 750,000, we're at 705, and we haven't put out our year-end mailing, and a majority of the contributions for that come in at year-end. So there's a lot of reasons for that. So we're hoping to far exceed that. And even at 750, that's only about half what our actual cost is for benevolence each year. But we'll keep upping it each year. You just got to take time to get there. Our goal for the Habitat House is 250,000. We need 190. Now there's going to be a considerable amount, we hope, from in-kind contributions that I'm hoping at least 75,000. That's for contractors and businesses that come in and do the concrete, the roofing. They give it to us at hopefully a considerable amount below the cost. And we have until April. So the nice thing about this is you can put it into 2 tax years. Naturally, I'd like to get it done as soon as possible so I can sleep at night. So, but it's coming along well. As you can see, the siding is on. It's under roof, and there's Tiffany, and she is quite a worker, and she's very multi-talented. And she's with Wayne Yeager, right, who was our past chairman. And here we need volunteers, and we've had some great volunteers. We've had 25 to 30, but we need a lot more. Now, if you're not able to do a lot of physical work, we are going to be bringing, I guess, the doors, the molding, and things here to a cottage, and you'll be able to go in there and paint. So we'll let you know when that happens, but please get a hold of Billy. It is a real opportunity to, you feel good doing that.
Also provide lunch for the workers, volunteers.
Oh, yeah. Well, you get lunch then. So if you're hungry, go volunteer.
No,
But
I want you to provide lunch.
oh,
That's a way to volunteer.
to provide lunch. Well, you get lunch too. So, okay, had me confused there. Here,
One question on the
yes, ma'am.
Habitat House. We went out and looked at that the other day. It's going to be gorgeous. There's nothing on there that indicates Menno Haven at all. Is that a good reason?
No, it's not. Tiffany. Well,
I think Habitat has their sign out there.
well,
It says they've got F&M Trust, but there's nothing about Menno Haven.
well, we're going to have to get something up there. I like PR and marketing, so we're going to, let me see, which way am I going? Thank you for that. Let's see. Oh, I wanted to show you this picture. We got them the other day. I love that picture. See that lady down there? That's Tiffany. And what it reminded me of, all her friends went home and her mother said, get out there and pick up those toys. Very talented, so. But no, thanks for that. We're going to get something out there, hopefully by the end of the week. That's for Branch Creek. We had a goal of 25,000, which covers about half the deficit we run there. And I think what it is, we're at about 8,800. You need to know more about it. We're hoping that we're going to have a couple events there in the next year so you can actually go and see it and see what happens there. Menno Cares, that's a program we have here for our team members. Let's say that they can't pay their electric bill or their rent one month. There's a committee. They come to that, fill out an application, and we determine if we can help them out. Also, we buy book bags for the kids to go to school. At Christmas, we have toys, and we buy diapers too. And also, we give away turkeys at Thanksgiving and hams, and that'll happen in a couple weeks. So this is a little bit additional thing in addition to the Employee Appreciation Fund. And this one is tax deductible. And I'll get to the next one about that. Donor-funded projects, we've had a lot this year going on. Never know what it's going to be. And please, you got things you want to get done for next year, come see me. And I know a lot of people will. What I really like is we got the 2 golf carts for food services, and we're getting those wrapped, I think, by the end of the week with the Menno logo. And now they have lights on top, and they'll be delivering. You order something, they'll deliver it to you. And we've got a number of vehicles donated. We always need vehicles. And I had a gentleman was in rehab, and he said, I want to get a baby grand player piano. So I went down to see him, and he said his wife was deceased, but she always played one at home. And he purchased one. It's back in the dining room, and it plays by itself, too. So you can program it, and it's really a great addition back there. The thing that we have from this year planned, but it won't start until January, is right down the hall here. It's the new salon. We're completely stripping it out, and it will be updated. It'll be beautiful, I'll tell you. And while we're waiting so long is, we're trying to do most of the improvements here in-house with our people, our carpenters and stuff. But we've had so much going on because when you go outside, it's a fortune. So we're hoping to start that in January, and we only want to be closed down about 2 weeks. I know Billy has arranged transportation will be for people who want their hair done, that they can go to one of the other venues and have it done. But we'll have a little open house for that, but a resident has paid for the full thing. And it's not a cheap process. The sinks are like, there's 2 sinks, up and down, go all around. They're like $6,000 a piece. Unbelievable. But we were finding out that if they didn't move for people who had a disability, need to be in a wheelchair, whatever it may be, it just wasn't working. So, we're here to make sure we can do everything for all residents that have different needs. Okay, year-end giving, always a good time to give. If you have your RMDs and your IRAs, you can give them directly. Get a lot of those where it comes over, has to come directly to us from your custodian or your broker, whoever it may be. And you don't show it as a deduction, but you don't show it as income either. So it doesn't put your adjusted gross income into another bracket. Great time to give securities, and I hope most of you have appreciation. If you don't, you've been in the wrong stocks. So great way. It's kind of, you get a double whammy for it in contributing stocks. And we have the year-end appeal then for benevolence coming out. Now the dog park, and that thing has gone great. About 4 o'clock every day. I don't know how many residents go down there. They have a big party. And all the dogs are having a heck of time. And far as we know, there haven't been a lot of fights between dogs down there. They all seem to get along. And we did expand it this year to include the small park with the large dog park. A lot of parks keep them separate, but we found out that it wasn't the big dogs that would bother the small dogs. So small dogs would chase the big dogs, but they all are getting along. But one thing we need is somehow, I don't know how it happens, that's irrelevant, we need everybody to fill out an application again who has them, because we don't have a list of them, because the applications were put in each person's file, and we have about 1,200 files. We'd like a list, and it's a good thing, it's been a few years, to get a new one application, doesn't cost you anything, and they're on the resident portal. So if you would, that would be a lot of help. And we're planning on having a little fundraiser, already raised some funds, to put a nice gazebo in there so you can sit out there in the rain. Your dog might get wet, but you won't. Okay, the Employee Appreciation Fund. Tiff gets to go first. She stole my slides, she stole Ryan's, but this is something good to cover twice. And you see what we're at, 194,000 last year, 115. But I think, Ryan, we still have some PTO and things, that's paid time off, that people have either donated or they've gone over the 300 hours, and then the organization funds it, and the money goes into there, and that's a considerable amount. So you still have till the 22nd. It isn't tax deductible, but I might have something for you at the beginning of the year. I've been doing a lot of research with the IRS to see what we can do for next year, so hang in there. Pastoral care comes under development, and of course the chaplains do an unbelievable job. I don't know how they do all they want, but we got a lot of events this time of year. We have the Thanksgiving collection for Branch Creek. Right outside this door where the refreshments are, there'll be a table, you can put them there, and every building will have a place you can put them. And it helps a lot of those people who really have a need over there. I think they've got about 225 that are members of Branch Creek. It's a great way to give. And then we have, I don't know if any of you have been to the Grounded program. I can't totally explain it. I've been to a couple, I tell you. When I got out, I felt good, because it brings resident teams members together, and it talks about challenges we all have in today's society and how we deal with them. And then the Christmas tree lightings, it'll be down in front of the Renaissance here and over at Northgate, and the nativity services to be announced. So we've got a lot of things going up, and we'll check our communication venues. They'll all be in there when the exact dates are. Okay, I got my newsletter coming out for development. I've got an article in there that, well, I got to write it, because the one I wrote for our donor, Allie, my assistant, she read it last week. I had it for the letter, and I had to give the donor presentation Friday night. She said, you need to read that there. So now I got to write another one. But love to write, but the Christmas jar is something that happened very special at Menno a few years ago. And I want you to know about it, because I read it because I know it will inspire you. And just to tell you about the newsletter, it's a little bit different. We're doing our year-end peel and that in the back. Make sure you get there. The last page, there's an envelope. And you probably wonder what that's there for, kind of glued on. So don't forget that to get there. But I think the article will inspire you. And on behalf of development, thank you. Please have a safe, a joyous, a peaceful holiday season. And before you know it, we'll have another one next year. Seems like we were just there. So thank you. Yeah. See if there's a step here.
Well, that is it for our 100-deck slide. Told you it was a lot. But it's important that we keep information in front of you. So we are almost at that hour-and-a-half mark. So we try to keep it as short as we can, but of course we want to leave time for any questions, comments, concerns, and demands. It looks like Billy and Diane have